I'm a teacher and a realtor. I teach fifth grade. I've been doing that for 22 years, and I've been doing real estate for a dozen years. So I think what many of my clients would say, and what I feel, is that that's a really great marriage of two different career paths coming together to help clients navigate real estate with the thinking and the process of a teacher, teacher's mind, that I can walk clients through contracts. I can explain things and the jargon and really put it in terms that they understand and hold their hand. And I think my clients, I know my clients really appreciate that, because everybody has a teacher, their favorite teacher, right? So you can think back to that favorite teacher, and that's a great thing for them to reference to. So I think that's a great, combination to have someone that has that passion for teaching, and whether that's in the classroom or in the real estate market.
Yeah. And I know you help break down contracts so that it's more simple.
Yep. Oh, for sure. That's when I'm like, okay, skip this page. Okay, this page is about this. I'm summarizing. Okay, that's what this really means here. And walking them through, telling them which pages we can just gloss over, and which, okay, now here's the real, meat and potatoes, the nuts and bolts of the contract. And here's where we really need to, focus in on for sure.
Yeah, that's huge. And then the relationships that you have, probably just from being a teacher in the community, right, are pretty
well. Yeah, I've been raised here, so I got 50 plus years in this town, so I know a lot of people, and a lot of people knew my family and my parents, and so it's just been a great thing, because I have some clients right now that I know from Sunday school and haven't seen them in 30 years, and it's all because of social media, that they just reach out to me, and I'm like, wow, I haven't really seen you in honestly 30 years, but that's just the connection they have, and they just see what I'm doing, and there's that bond there, right, of another person that's also a native Ventura and reaching out to another local. And then obviously there's plenty of realtors to choose from, but that's the real blessing when you get those
totally. And that's how we reconnected too, after high school.
Totally.
Went high, class of something.
Watch you shine in 89.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Now everybody knows.
I know. Oh, sorry. I just divulged. Sorry.
Looking fun in 89. Okay. We're good. Yes. And so do you want to talk a little bit about that? Just the relationship of between your lender and your realtor, and really your team, financial advisor, anybody else that you have that's helping, accountants, right? That's helping you along the way.
The team is huge. I think people just think of their agent, their realtor, but there's so much more to it than just me. And that's where, and you, Danielle, come in. And so when I'm going to be presenting someone with an offer, another agent, I know I have you as my right-hand gal, because now you'll just go in and you can just explain everything about the buying power of that buyer. And it's all the things, and I don't want to have to know all of that. I mean, that's why that's why I work with you, and that's why when my clients work with you, that's your job. Right.
Right.
And I think that's been a really great privilege to have you in my life as that kind of partner. So I can have you, helping. So it's the buyer, it's me, it's you, that's a transaction coordinator. I mean, it does take a village sometimes. And so we work together, to make sure that, our clients get the best representation and get their offer accepted. And that's, the ultimate goal. And when that happens, I mean, that's just woo,
everything. Right? Exactly. I think that the creativity that we can come up with together, especially, right?
Yeah. Thinking outside the box is what you have to do in, a really competitive market, to go, how can we do this? What are the tricks that we have up our sleeves? And in fact, I wrote an offer. This is on the last deal I did about a month or so ago. And the buyer released funds. If you basically, once my offer is accepted, I'm going to release some money to you that's non-refundable. And if I walk, it's your money.
Yeah.
And the agent, who was the listing agent, said, I've never seen that done before. That was really outside the box thinking, and it worked. Our offer got accepted.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, that was really cool to hear that, something I thought of doing. And my buyer was perfectly happy with doing that. She knew she wasn't going to walk. Right. So it was no skin off her back. It was coming out of her earnest money anyway. So that was great. So it's those kind of little, insider tricks that we use to be successful.
Yeah. And I think that that's important to say too, is just working in this market and being busy in this market when there might be experienced realtors experience that they've been doing this for 20 plus years, but how much have they been working in a market like we're in and we've seen for the last 3 years, which is just
Sure.
zipping all over the place. So I think
Zipping all
that's
over the place.
huge.
It is
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about Christine? We're not going to say her name.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll
Sure,
dump
sure,
that
sure.
one out. Or
Sure.
do you, I mean, I have so much right now that I think is like
Oh,
perfect.
oh,
But if you want to talk about that, we can do that also, because I
we
can
could
always,
talk about it since we're already here, and it
yeah.
could be another video, like in
Yeah,
3
because
weeks or
that's what I'm
something.
doing too for like
I
Jan
mean,
and I
I'm
did
already
3
here.
at different times. And
Okay.
so yeah, let's talk about Christine. So we can just we won't have her name in there, but yeah, just so tell me about our buyer. Let's talk about our buyer that
Sure.
had, I believe there was 4 homes in the transaction, and
Yeah.
how that all played out.
Sure. Yeah. I had a seller who was going to sell, and she was buying a bigger property. So it was an upgrade, which was exciting.
Yeah.
So she needed to put her condo on the market in order to buy the property she wanted. So it was a contingent purchase. So those people, had to wait for her to sell in order for, their place to sell.
Yes.
And those sellers were buying a place, and the place they were buying had sellers. So it was like just this whole domino effect, right? Of making it all work. And at the time, she was getting discouraged because we were writing offers. We had written many different offers. Meanwhile, I remember her house is on the market and no one really can buy her place until she finds a place. So it's this, snowball.
Yeah.
And so she finds a place, and she just keeps getting beat out by this particular cash buyer who was buying about, I think he bought 10 properties, and he was quite impressive. And he was buying everything in her same price point. So she would write it, and then it'd be cash, and he would snatch it out from her.
Yeah.
So she was getting discouraged because, her time's running out. She really had to find something because, again, buyers aren't going to sit around and wait for her. And she did get an offer, and they were being patient. They were waiting, but they're only going to wait, a certain amount of time.
Right.
So that was discouraging. But finally, and with your help as, being a great lender, we got the place. You were able to communicate her buying power and her situation. And, that's something we did together, but definitely with your input, it was huge. And then that helped her get the place. And so it was patience, because we had to make sure all the ducks were in a row on the sellers and those people buying. And but it was a big,
But if you remember, that same investor also offered all cash.
Yes.
Because you had a relationship with this with the listing agent. If you want to talk about that, and how he was like, I would rather have a teacher of over 20 years that lives here in Oxnard,
right,
this house, versus having another investor own in our community.
Right. Exactly. So he was like, okay. And everything you just said.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And then it all worked. All worked
out, and her, and all the nerves and all the stress and all the, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I should wait. And no, and I know now she's already got equity in this property, and it's been a year. So
and she's a single mom with a young daughter that's growing, and she just needed more space. And so that's huge. So